Hello, hello. Hey, everyone, and welcome in. I am your girl, Audrey Conner, and I am going live to you from Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram is playing games, but also on TikTok. So, as you guys are coming in, hopefully you guys can hear me. So, we're just going to be kind of going on here and just really getting to learn how to basically start an online tutoring business. I know there's a lot of people out there this time of year. A lot of people are just like, especially educators are really sinking in and really thinking about what are your next steps. So, this is just one possibility that I really want to present to educators, even if you're just kind of thinking about it and just not sure what to do. But if you are a teacher that is ready to make a change, basically use what you got to get what you want, which is possibly more money and also more time and financial freedom, then this is the live for you. If you're currently a tutor and you're just like, you know what, Audrey, I'm feeling pretty stuck and I really want to do some advancement, this is the time to actually put yourself out there. And this is the live for you. So before we get into anything, I just want to kind of dabble a little bit. If you are currently a tutor, trust and believe, I really want you to put your credentials into the chat. Tell me, what is your tutoring business? Hey, mama, how are you? Hey, mom. And really just put your information into the chat because I know 2 lives ago, I was sitting here just talking away and trying to help people with their tutoring business. And I end up getting a new student because they just liked how I presented myself. They just liked what I was saying. So you never know. People might be seeking out. You never know what's going on here. Hey, Jason, how are you? Moto, how are you? Getting a lot of action going in and out in TikTok. And I do have some people that are in here. Let's see, put some information in the chat. Hey, Robert, how are you? So glad that you are here. Right now, my cat is scratching on the door, acting like she want to come in, but we don't want that. All right. So if you are a teacher that's just thinking, I need to get out, but I need to do something, this is the right time and the right live for you. If you are currently a tutor and you really want to kind of boost it up a little bit, this is the live for you. So, Moto, let me see if I can slide this bad boy over. There we go. Hey, we have Michelle here on TikTok. She's an online tutor focusing on teaching math to students in grades 4 through 8. I don't know what's going on with fourth grade math, but if you are a parent of a fourth grader and you know your child is struggling and you want to have that little assistance, definitely reach out to Michelle. Michelle, don't forget to put like your business name in there so we can actually have that pushed out. Hey, 818, how are you doing? Little MJ, how are you? Hey, Jason, nice to see you guys. So, as you guys are doing this, I know right off the bat, a lot of you guys have been thinking of, I need to make a change because if I stay in this classroom, I'm going to completely lose it. Please, if you are an educator and you're just like, I don't know what my options are, please do not hesitate to reach out, to contact, because I was that person almost 4 years ago, right? 4 years ago, I knew I had to make changes. One, my father passed away. Two, I was almost thrown out or punched. I wish a child would try to punch me um, in the classroom. And I had to make a change because it was just like my stress, my pressure, um, and I need to go. You just get that gut feeling that you're not as effective as a teacher that you used to be. It was just time to make that change. Some people call it the 7-year itch. Some people just say, I'm about to lose my mind. But I know I needed to do something, but I loved to teach. I love to educate. I love seeing the kids just advance. And I was watching a live last night, and this woman put it perfectly. She's like, it's perfectly fine for you to be fearful. It's perfectly fine for you to be fearful. But here's the thing, you have to know when it's time for you to start taking care of you. And it's not because when I left the classroom, I didn't love my kids. I love each and every single solitary child that I have actually sat down and talked to. Some of them I taught, some of them I haven't even taught. But the fact that I was able to have a conversation, maybe it was just like giving them a moment for them to have peace in their minds. Maybe it was just giving the child a moment to express themselves that in other classes they weren't allowed to do so. But that's the one thing I definitely did. I just have like all this encouragement and wanted that growth. So before I really go into my story, if you are watching this live, go ahead and share the live out. Maybe there is another teacher out there that's like, you know what? My girl has been always talking about getting out and she wondered what she wanted to do. Share the live to her. Share, don't be stingy. Don't try to keep all the information to yourself. So, hey, Diego, how are you? So, when it comes to building up your business, like for me, I just knew that I needed to make a change and I wasn't sure what it was going to be. So, I basically did a lot of research. I went on so many different platforms. I did Google searches. I looked on YouTube just to get some inspiration. And then I saw a video from a lady that has and grown her online tutoring empire right now. And I joined her program. I joined a couple other programs. And it just seemed like no matter where I went, I felt like there was something missing. There was like certain kind of piece that was missing, and I don't know how to progress from that. So what I was doing, I knew that online tutoring was okay. And how I actually got started was on Facebook. I took my phone and I went live for the very first time. I held it up and I just said, you know what? Hey guys, this is Miss Audrey. I'm going on a new venture. I am trying my hand on online tutoring. So if you know somebody that needs assistance, go ahead and give me a call. 2 hours later, I got my first client. I just had to put myself out there. But for me, I'm a private person. So that was really hard for me. Hey, VIP, how are you? It was really hard for me to kind of grip that. So when you go into any kind of business, you really have to stop for a moment and just think, I'm going to do something that's uncomfortable. I'm not used to going out there and just putting my business out there. I wasn't into social media prior to this. I really wasn't talking to a lot of my neighbors prior to this, not because I didn't like them, just because it wasn't me. But when you go into any kind of business, it's almost like you have to figure out what is your alter ego. Who is, as I shall say, your Sasha Fierce when you're going into business? Because like I was in a meeting not too long ago with other tutors and we were just talking and I said, there's a difference between having a business and a hobby. And there's a lot of people that would, and I remember Mama and Emma or Emma and Mama, where I got my pen from and I bought it off of TikTok. It started off as a hobby. It was just something that a mother and daughter wanted to do, and they really enjoyed doing it. And next thing you know, they turned this into a business. So now they're really putting themselves out there to sell. Yes, there's tons of other people that are selling these pens and being really decorative about it. But here's the thing, they are not you. So yes, I love it. I saw your video with them. Thank you. I know because I try to support as many small businesses just as much as myself. So when it really comes down to when people are making that decision, a lot of these things start as hobbies. A lot of people probably like just did your friend's hair, and next thing you know, you're a beautician. Now all of a sudden you used to do all your friends' nails, and now you're doing nail art all together. It all starts somewhere. So when I want to talk more so about my tutoring business. So a lot of people don't know where to start. They have an idea, or can they really make money off of this? And also, it's just like, okay, how do I know that I'm actually making a profit and actually becoming a business versus this is a hobby that I like to kind of stick to? So that is going to be a couple things that I'm going to talk about today and try to mix it in with our next steps, which is my online course that I'm working on, which is also connection to my membership. So all of that is actually going to be up on the forefront starting June the 1st. So a lot of the things that people are looking for is generally going to be found in this course. Now, when we talk about this, and if anything, just put in the chat to let me know that you guys are still there. So, when you're thinking about your business, what is something that you really want to achieve? Let me put it to you this way. How do you know that you are successful in that business? Go ahead and put in the chat. Like, is it more money? Is it you're getting more popularity? Like more people are seeing you not only on social media, but even when you're out and about, they're like, oh, wait, you're that lady or that sir on TikTok that talks about the tutoring business. Is it like the clout? Like, what is it? So go ahead and put in the chat. Let me know. How do you know that your business, tutoring, nails, hair, automotion, it doesn't matter. No matter what it is. How do you know that you are going to be successful? Ooh, requests from consulting. Yes. When you're getting all those requests, thank you, Moto. When you get all those requests, it just seems like, hey, they're talking about me because it's not just some random person out there that's just, hey, how you doing? Oh, I saw your stuff and they like it. Trust me, I love the likes. The likes are awesome. But I want to share my gift just as much as Moto, who is over here on TikTok, wants to say, I really want people to value what I do. Everybody wants validation. Everybody wants guidance. Everybody wants to have that feeling that you are putting something out in the world that is really being productive. So, with all those things, I just wanted to check a look. With all those things, like you want to make sure that you're doing there. Hey, sleeping while slaying. Hey. Hey, sweet angel. Nice joining in. So, for me, I'm very similar. Like, once I noticed that people are requesting my services, even when I was doing the tutoring, it just seemed like a lot of people were like, oh, I found you on Google. And I was like, I never really got too many people on Google. Or then occasionally you find somebody on Facebook, or even like one or a couple of my people or my friends, as I like to call my soul friends on TikTok, would say, hey, Audrey, I'm wondering, can you help my child? Because it's not really there. The math is not mathing. It just really isn't. So, hey, Roland, how are you? Jamas, how are you? So, it just seems like when you're doing your business, the very first thing you need to know and understand is what is your niche? You need to talk to your people. You need to figure out some kind of connection. So I know, like, when I go on live, I feel good when someone that's running the live will actually say my name. So, like, when I'm here on Facebook, I have Robert. And then I have Michelle on TikTok. I have Sweet Angel. I have Jamas. I have Mito. And, you know, I just have all these people that are starting to come in, which is great. But it's so nice when someone says your name, you're like, ooh, because you got that acknowledgement. And then you're like, okay, well, what else do I need to do? Then some people will tell you, hey, put your hearts in, put your green heart in. If you're brand new to this channel, put your blue hearts in, because everybody wants to build not only just their page, you want to build a community. And in order for you to build a community and get the community assistance that you need to know who is your audience. Because in addition to all these things, I also run a Facebook group. And with my Facebook group, like once in a while, I might get a couple tutors that will try to post something inside the group. And I always have to ask them, why are you posting inside our group? And they're like, why? Why not? And I'm like, no, not to be aggressive, but I'm just like, think about it. who are you expecting to see your post? And they'll say, well, other parents that needs assistance. And I'm like, true. But our group is just for tutors. Like, I'm only putting just tutors inside this group. I'm not bringing families in. I know some tutors do have some families, but this is just for tutors. So for you to post inside of a group for tutors, you're just posting and it's just going to go dead or unalive. So sorry. Okay. It's not going to go anywhere. So you want to go and post it and you want to be active in a spot that you're going to flourish, where you feel comfortable with. Some people, it's TikTok. Some people, it's somewhere else, right? So for me, I like to be on TikTok because I have a lot of friends on here, a lot of deep soul connections on here as well. So now they're just starting to see the business side of Audrey. But when it comes down to it, you need to understand, where are your parents? And you are directing your attention to the parents because they're the ones that's going to pay for it. But in order for you to get there, you really do need to sit down and take a good look at what and who are you trying to attract. And then feeling confident in your services to present to those parents, to show them that, yes, I can help your child. Yes, I can, even if you have adult learners like myself, I can help you. I have helped so many right now. I want to say so many. Let me put a number to it. 12 so far. Okay. To me, 12 people getting their GEDs is a blessing. People that have always, for the years and years and years, and there's some people that were in their 60s. I had a couple people in their 40s. I had a couple people in their 50s and their 30s. And there was like one or two that I had that were in their 20s. But the mere fact, and I always open the conversation up just like this every time. One, before we even get started, I'm so proud of you. Because it takes a lot for you to, one, sign up to take your GED, two, find a course or a curriculum or someone to help you with the GED, and to have that confidence in yourself that you will achieve that GED. So I always say, like, look, I'm very proud of you and what you're doing. But by doing that, I'm showing myself. That's really showing my personality. So I know one of the questions, there's usually like two or three that I have lined up. Everyone always asks this famous question: where do I find clients? And I always say the same thing: you don't. You don't find clients. They find you. And in order for them to find you, you have to, and I will say that, hey, Mr. Yeah, you have to present yourself. You have to put out content. You have to get on social media. I'm sorry, especially us seasoned teachers that's been in the classroom for years. I know for a fact you don't really like social media. You're not really into the social media. If it is, it's just like, let me put a couple videos out here and there, but nothing about your business. But you have to do some kind of video about yourself. Get on podcasts. Really put yourself out on YouTube and TikTok, and really speak to your audience about who you are and what you do. So without that piece, like, yes, you can do a regular post, but that's going to be missing. So that's really not going to grab or gravitate the people that you want. And then the major thing is, you have to be consistent. You have to do it almost every day. Like, just one 10-minute video, not 10 minutes, sorry, 10-second video or 15-second video or 1-minute video. Talk about yourself. Talk about what you do. And I know for me, I wasn't raised to talk about myself. Children were supposed to be seen, not heard. But now I have to learn to put myself out there. And again, that's an uncomfortable situation. And I'm trying to learn how to progress from that. So as people are coming in, hey, Heidi, hello again. So as everyone's coming on in, again, if you are currently a tutor and hey, put your information in the chat. Let's go ahead and let's put that out there because you never know. Even though you might be fully booked right now, you never know what happens like next week or the week after, especially like after all the testing. So if you have a child that's going to be testing, hey Lori, if you're in the US, if you're overseas, if you're in Australia, if you're in the UK, what have you. If you have a child that is struggling, math, reading, whatever, and you are a tutor, go ahead and put your information into the comments because you never know who's watching. You never know who needs some assistance. So, and if you are just coming in, yes, I'm going to mention to you how to start your online tutoring. And I am one of those people that likes to keep it simple. I don't like for full on difficulties, especially if you're not here, Julio Caesar or Julio Caesar. Um, it just seems like a lot of people are giving you so much platforms, so much everything. Hey, Bridget, how are you? I think that's you. Yep. Hi. Well, to welcome in. I know. I'm going to take a look at all kinds of things, flyers, and all that stuff after my live. But try to keep it simple. Remember, most hobbies turned into businesses. A lot of people are trying to do a business, but they're still thinking that it's still a hobby. I'm just going to be here to help people out. I'm just going to be here to help fill my cup. But before you can help other people, you got to make sure your cup is overflowing. You got to help yourself out before you can do anything else. So, one, we have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves as well as knowing who our niche, who are our people, who is our parents that we're going to, making ourselves known, putting ourselves out there. I can't preach this enough. As well as tonight's a live night. Yes. So, as well as when you're doing all this, sometimes you need some guidance. I know when I first started, as I mentioned, I have joined some programs. I've joined some really great programs with great coaches. Some of them we're still friends to this day. And there's some other people that I've done collaborations with. There's some other people that we were accountability partners at one point. And there's some other people that I'm learning and we're being friends as we're progressing further with our businesses today. But there was one major thing. Hey, Lisa, that was missing is I was forgetting who I was. I needed a coach. And sometimes like questions pop up and it just doesn't happen during the 8 weeks or the 10 weeks or the 12-week courses because you're so worried about trying to be just like everyone else. Let's be real, right? We're sitting here trying to be like whoever's in charge of that program. I want to be a mini version of that person because they were successful and I want to be that successful. But you have to understand, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not. You can sit there and try to make it overnight, but it's not going to happen overnight. So, hey, Nikki. Um, so when it comes down to having this reach and having this build, I know I needed some coaching. I needed someone that has done it before. Not to downplay all my accountability partners. I loved you guys. Like, I mean, all the work that we've done together, which is great. But I always felt like I needed someone that was a little more advanced, that definitely went in there, that definitely got into the mix. And then they can give me some guidance versus being who I am. I like to take it and run with it. And I'll be like, all right, we're both lost, but I'm going to do the research and you're going to come with me. Right? I don't want that. I need someone that's like, Audrey, what do you want to do? So, hey, Benjamin. Hey, Jay. Hey, everyone joining in. I appreciate you guys being here. So it's almost like I needed someone to walk me through the paces. Like I want someone to kind of help me with my mindset because once I was in the classroom, I'm going to be truthful, guys. Like the transitioning from the classroom to being your own business owner is not easy. And you're not going to feel comfortable with it at least for like 2, 3 years. I'm going to be truthful. It's going to take some time. But with everyone coming in, hey Ray, hey Gypsy, Willie, I knew a Willie, placeholder 291, welcome in. So I needed someone to help me with my mindset because when I was in the classroom, I was told what to do, where to go, what should I wear, and I always tried to go outside the box. Okay, I didn't like being inside of a box. I always wanted to go outside the box. So once I was in and I just wanted to get outside the box, but now I got to switch my thought process to I got to be in charge of everything. I got to answer all the emails. I got to do my marketing. I got to do my promotional. I got to set up meetings to talk to other tutors. I got to do all of this plus running a household, plus, keeping myself in shape. It's all kinds of stuff. It's everything. Hey, David. Hey, Jose. Shar. Louise. So when I had to make that transition, I had to remember who I was. I know I was a hardworking teacher and I know I can break down the concepts, but I had to take a step back and learn how to redefine who Audrey was. Who is Audrey now? Audrey is still an educator, but she's not a classroom teacher. It's okay that I left the classroom. It's okay. And a lot of people stress about that. And you're going to, and it's going to feel weird. And you're going to feel that you're not really doing anything. Hey, Christy. But you're doing a whole lot because you're doing something for yourself. You're trying to progress, you're trying to grow. But in order for you to progress and grow, you got to really understand your mindset. You got to understand that it's okay to do this for you. And now I'm able to tutor kids not only in a classroom or in my house, I'm able to tutor kids all over the world. I have, like this morning, I was in Alaska. Before we came on, I was in Florida. I'm currently live in Maryland. And I have kids, Alaska, Washington State, Florida, Texas, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, Delaware. I had to look at my map, which is over here. Um, Nairobi, Kenya, Cairo, Egypt, Maine, Vermont, a couple in North Carolina, South Carolina. Like these are my peoples that are coming in. So now I left my four walls for the world. And some people were referrals from other tutors because they believed in who I was. They believed in how I wanted to progress. So, with everyone that's coming in, I greatly appreciate you guys coming in here because when you start your tutoring business or you start anything, you got to start small. I know you want to think big, but start small. Know who your niche is and also get that mindset. Your mindset is I want to educate. I want to make money while using my academic skills that I have acquired for multiple years. And now I can tutor or teach the way that I always wanted to teach. When I was in the classroom by year 4, my teaching skills was completely different from year 1 and 2. My desire was completely different from year 3 and 4. We don't want to talk about year 18. Talk about burned out. But it doesn't mean that you're giving up. It doesn't mean that you are letting those kids go. They're still going to graduate. They're still going to find you on Facebook. They're still going to find you on Instagram. They're still going to love you. But then you have to think, what do I need to do? So you got to change that mindset. Then you need a business plan. Something simple, one pager. What is it the things that you need to grow? What is it the things that you need in order to collect your funds, organize your dates and times, and be able to basically communicate with your clientele? So you also need to figure out who is your clientele, which we talked about before. Figure out those policies that you really need. What is your terms and conditions? You got to give parents boundaries. If not, they will run you like, I better not say that on here, but they're going to run you. All right. And then how to do video. Because a couple of my posts that's going to be happening for the next couple of weeks is going to be talking about how do I feel comfortable sitting here talking to a camera instead of a person. It's hard for some people. Hey, Barefoot Betty. Hey, JoJo. How are you? D. Williams. Because a lot of people, they want to be excellent in what they do. But just the fear of sitting in front of a camera and talking and sharing bits and pieces of your life, it's not that easy. But it does take practice, because I wasn't always this comfortable. Because if I've done this 4 years ago, this live would have lasted literally 3 minutes, maybe. And I know it takes people time to want to do something and to feel comfortable doing it. So now it's like, hey, sometimes I got my script. I'm not even gonna lie, and then sometimes some things just pop up that needs to be said. Yep. It could easily overpower you. Yes, Pastor, thank you. Because it really can. So it's just a matter of like trying to be organized and just really just sitting there and really put all your passions together, but write out some ideas so you know what you're talking about, right? So when it really reaches to your heart, for me, it's okay. And I'm going to tell you, I know you're stressed out about that. You're stressed out about there's so much that needs to be learned, because you just listed a whole bunch of things. And I'm like, trust me, there's plenty more. And the main one is marketing. That's why a lot of people who are teachers that are trying to do tutoring, they go to a lot of these third-party places because they're afraid of the marketing. So much that they're willing to give 30% of what they're charging to a company to help them market. And guess what? They're not doing that much marketing. All they have to do is say the name of their business. That's it. Because they've been around for so long. But then you're in competition with other people. Hey, Mr. Pierre, how are you? So, Mr. Wiggles, how are you? Jeremy Baker, pleasure to come in. So, it just seems like when you're starting these businesses, and don't be afraid to try things. I think that's one thing that everyone thinks that it's linear. Like, okay, if I just work hard, I'm going to get more clients and I'm going to make more money. And then before I know it, boom, I'll be a millionaire. No. Yes. No. I see one person says doing great. Thanks. Not a problem. But when it really comes down to it, it's not linear. It's never linear. You can work hard and all of a sudden you get less students. And then the school year starts picking up again, you get more students and you get to ride that high till you can. Then winter break comes and then all of a sudden it starts going down. Then you come back from winter break, it starts creeping up a little bit. And then after second quarter, parents see those grades, then boom, all of a sudden it comes back up. For me, March is just my Christmas, because that's when I start getting kids, because a lot of parents see those grades and they go back. Yep, you got to ride those waves for the whole year. And that's one thing I'm going to tell you. Tutoring is not going to be easy. There's too many people saying, yeah, you're going to work 52 weeks out of the year. No, you are not. Solid working about 36 weeks, and I will be truthful in that. So that means you have to figure out how much you're going to want to charge so you'll be able to budget yourself. Yes, I said budget. You're going to have to do those things. And I know you didn't have to do that when you were in the classroom. You just got your paycheck. No matter what, that's what you got paid. They took out whatever they need to get paid. That's it. But it's different. But the reason why I keep doing it is because now, one, I get to tutor kids all around the world. Like I said, different places, different streams. Two, I get control when and how much I want to charge, how many students I want to have in a day, mostly when, because I know I have a lot of my kids in the afternoons because during the day they're in school. But I'm starting to get a lot of students that have study halls and their teachers are allowing them to get my services during study halls during school. All right. So, how do I market myself to international students? I get in touch with some other tutors. And sometimes I do some podcasts for some international students or international tutors, and we can connect that way. Usually it's the GCSEs, especially for the UK. Um, so we talk a little bit about those math things, but a lot of them were other referrals from other tutors. So depending on what you're doing, you never know. You might have someone that works for the UN. You'll have some international students as well. So some my connections really came from like other tutors, and it just exploded. And all I needed was one or two because now I get a couple more because of the service that I provided for that one student that I had. So that's how I get a lot of my international students. And trust me, the time zone is killing me. You're in England and that means that's 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes. So I love when people are like, oh, yeah. And then, of course, I'm on the East Coast and sometimes I'll get my kids here and there on the West Coast and they'll be like, hey, all right. And I'm like, guys, you're killing me. But that means I'm tutoring at 11 to 12 o'clock at midnight. But the main fact when they give me a call and they said I passed my test and I'm like, all right, what's pass? And they say I got an A or I got a B. And I know I wouldn't have gotten a B if I didn't have you tutoring. A little ego push, I have to admit, right? So I know it is. I mean, it really is. It's really interesting. Like I didn't know that this world existed, but it took me to go through mind games. It took me to go through jumping from school to school, people telling you, oh, you're a teacher, your next step is to be a principal. And I didn't want that. I still wanted to teach, but I didn't want the foolishness anymore. So that's one of the things that really just kind of drove me to look at other avenues. And it's very funny that when you think outside the box, how something could really transform your whole entire world. So now I'm at the point that I want to help other people to see that, yes, you can still educate. You can still use all the stuff that you supposedly learned in the how many years you've been in the classroom, and you can apply it to your own business. So Mr. Pierre says, I'm in that mindset as well. I love the kids, but I have no desire to get into admin. I know, because I noticed that when people left to go, say, to the district, a lot of my friends that used to do that, they just died. Their creativity just perished. And I know, sorry, TikTok, I'm trying to get my life together. But but it just seemed like their creativity just went. And I'm like, you used to be like such a good hands on. You were like, you would go to like the dollar store, buy a whole bunch of stuff and put together like a project. And I'm like, wow, what happened? And it's usually because it went to the district. And then you have to deal with laws and policies and then that passion just went away. But when it comes down to, and especially this time of year, I mean, this is supposed to be Teacher Appreciation Week. And a couple of my students were like, so much. I'm like, no problem. I'm like, thank you. And I totally almost like disconnected it. I totally forgot. I was like, yeah, I am still a teacher. It's just like I'm just in a different realm. Hello, Beth. How are you? Thanks for coming in. Um, so when it comes down to, there's three things that everybody wants out of their tutoring business. They want someone to help them coach. They want someone that's going to give them direction, as well as they need a community. This can be lonely. And that's why I always say I try to reach out. When someone likes my post and they are of a tutoring business or a tutoring company, I reach back to them and I give them an audio message to say thank you for following me, because I know it's not easy. I met my friend, Tutor for Life or Tutor for Future. And ever since we met each other on Instagram, I mean, I asked her so many questions in like 20 minutes. And I know this lady was probably like, oh, good God, this woman. But I was like, I just want to know, like, is this something that I should jump into or should I step back? After that conversation, never looked back. It is something that's going to be internalized. Hey, Daniel, it's something that you want to do because it's a part of my passion. It took me a long time to realize that I love to teach. Emails, got it. I can do that. Phone calls, not a problem. Talking to parents has always been my key. I was that teacher that I would talk to my parents of my special ed students before we even met. And they're just like, oh, yeah, we know Miss Audrey. We want to speak to the English teacher, the science teacher, but they were just like, we've always talked to Miss Audrey because I always want to make sure that my students are learning. And I think a lot of you that are sitting here and listening, you feel the same way. But now we need to switch things up. So if you know there's another teacher that you're just like, that you've always had a conversation of like, what else can we do? You can use what you got to get what you want. You can use your academic skills. Even if you're like, I don't want to tutor for the rest of my life, I don't think anyone wants to say that. I just enjoy what I do. But if you know there's something bigger that you want, you're going to need funds to build that. Why not use tutoring to help build those funds so you can do the tutoring that you want to do? So you can maybe want to have a cafe. Maybe you want to, I don't know, a friend of mine does a goat farm. I always keep talking about this guy's goat farm. Maybe you want to do a goat farm. Maybe you want to just have an actual farm. Maybe you want to move to another country. Maybe you want to move to the islands. I don't know. But we all know that we have to have funds to keep going. Even though you have extra dreams, even if you have other desires, you're still going to need funds. I don't know if staying in the States is going to be my thing, but here's my thing. As long as they got Wi-Fi, I can go anywhere. I can be in an island as long as I got some good Wi-Fi. I can do my tutoring sessions. All right, let me knock off 2 hours. Let me knock off 3 hours. And then I got the rest of the day for me. I like to think of something like that. For me, brick and mortar is not my thing. I don't want another building. I have to worry about the pipes. I don't have to worry about hot water heaters. And I don't want to worry about any of that. Online is where it is. It's easy to set up. You have Wi-Fi, you have a computer, you have some kind of platform where you can communicate. That's where you need to start. You can think of your terms and conditions and whatever your policies are. Don't go crazy with, oh, I need a contract and this. Why? Are they building a part of a house? I don't think they are. Just calm down. Start slow. Start building up your people. And then the platforms that you start off with, you don't always have to be there. That's why, for me personally, I never charge or pay for a whole year because there's always new things coming out. And maybe there's something that really connects to what you want. So Zoom works for me. Some people like to do Google Meets. Some people like to do other type of talking platforms. Go ahead, knock yourself out with that. But you find a place where you feel comfortable with and you take it and run with it. But it just seems like everybody's like, well, I got to have a website. You notice I haven't said anything about a website until just now. Y'all need to start off with a website right away. If you want to have something, you could create a landing page, which is just basic information of what you do. No matter what, you should always have a video. An introductory video should be on that. You need to show your personality. You need to show who you are. So parents will get a feeling that they're being heard, possibly being seen, and at the same time, now they can trust you. Because if they trust you, they're going to buy from you. They're going to purchase your services. Service providers or service businesses, I feel, have to work harder because, like I said, it's easy to put a price on a pen. It's easy to put a price on a calculator. It's harder to put a price on service because some people think that, oh, you're a tutor or you're a teacher, so you understand. So basically, you're going to be doing this for free. No, no, no. There's a fee. And some people get it, but a lot of people don't. So there's some good. There's some great things, but there are some things you are going to have to deal with. And if it's not your thing, maybe it's not your season. Maybe it's not your time, but it is going to take some attention. Okay. So that's why I developed You Can Tutor. So I'm working on the course part because I figure, you know what? Instead of me constantly saying the same things over and over again, let me develop a course so you can watch at any time, self-paced. So then when you come to some of our events, you can bring your questions. So with my membership, it's like an extension of this course. So all the things that's going to be in the course is we're going to talk about mindset. We're going to talk about the business plan, your ideal clients. You're talking about your policies. We're talking about video and editing, even basic things like setting up your Facebook group or setting up your Instagram profile or setting up your, listen here, Google business. Think about it. When people need to learn something, what do? They Google it. It's even a phrase. How do you do this? Google it. So the years of, oh, paying this person $300, $400 to be on page one, scrap that. Okay. Scrap it all together. Hey, Jane, you know, go on to, and this is what I've learned. Like every single day, I have someone coming in and sort of some kind of inquiry. And I post on it. So anytime I post on it, there's activity on there. There may be small videos to help parents. It might be a tip or a trick that might be helpful to parents. They see my personality. They see my face on all my publications. All of a sudden, I start growing. Then I asked a couple people that, this is what they do, Google all day. They said, because you're active, regardless of how many reviews, as long as there's some kind of activity that's going on to that account, it will boost, the algorithm will boost you up over people that have thousands of reviews on their account because you're still being active. Because, once you get to 1,000 review, people are like, they'll just come to me. I won't have to do any marketing. But because I'm being active, they're like, oh, there's some persons that's getting some activity in there. Let's boost her up. All of a sudden, like a week after I started putting more reviews, asking more people to put reviews in, bam, every day. Some of them were my perfect match. Some of them I blessed other tutors with. Some of them I was like, you just want to pay me to do a test for you. That's not my thing. But I was able to get those touches or those inquiries because of that. So those are some things and some other things, because I like to drop some gems here and there. Also talking about those CTAs, those call to actions. Like if you want to learn more about You Can Tutor, the membership, go ahead and hit the link in my bio. All right. And it'll take you right to my page. And then it has a calendar there where you can pick a date and a time that we can sit down and chit chat. And that's going to open up even more when school starts dying down over for spring break, or no, summer break. And in addition to marketing, what's also going to be talking is the onboarding, like what to say when you finally get a client. Some people are just like, hi, here's my link. Like, no, you need to have a conversation with the parents. Let the parents be seen and heard. Talk to them. Make them have a voice. Make them feel that they're a part of this journey, because that's what you're doing. You're creating a journey. So, what to say during that? What to do during a meet and greet? You need to meet the kid before you start. Need to know what you're about to dive into, because you're basically building a relationship with these families. So that's basically the whole gist of what will be touched into the course. Now, the membership piece, this is when we're really going to dig deep. This is when you are actually going to be heard, because there's too many people that are like, here's a program, here's a program, here's a program, regurgitate a couple PDFs. Okay, we're done with the program. Yay, you're a tutor. Like, no. I like to do more communication, because everyone's tutoring business is not going to be exactly the same. It's not. So there's going to be some people that like to want to do more one-to-one than groups. There may be some people that might want to just do some pairings, or some people are just looking at digital products. Everyone's different. Although we may be all math tutors and English tutors and so forth, but people are different. So this is why I like to do what's called a collab work day. So on Saturdays, which is one going to be this Saturday, I have people come in. There's a Q&A session. You open up, tell me what you need, right? So we'll have some questions, we'll have some answers, and then there's something that you want to work on in your business. You're going to have some designated time to work on it. So I give them like 45 minutes to actually work on a concept, be it a flyer, be it some email marketing, be it you're trying to do something for your landing page, what have you. Because once you become your own business owner, it seems like the time to work on your business just gets smaller. 1 minute, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. You take a blink, you open up your eyes, and boom, it's midnight. You have no idea what happened to your day. So at least this will kind of give you that designated time to work on your craft. And if you have questions on some things, you can ask it. They'll do like a little break room, because we do it through Zoom. And then I'll just work with you one-to-one. You'll actually have someone that's going to be coaching, but actually putting you into a community to help you. And then at the end, after the 45 minutes is over, you present yourself to the group. What were you working on for 45 minutes? Do you need some feedback? All right, I did a flyer, but I'm not sure if it's good. All right, let's all take a look at it. How many places do that where you can have that live action? So in addition to the collab workday, I have what's called a how-to session. So everyone comes in, maybe the how-to was how to set up your Google business profile, how to create a post using Canva, how to set up or create a landing page, how to get your domain name, and we'll do it through Namecheap, or we'll look at some other platforms. We'll actually compare some other platforms for you. And then you sit there with your computer. Everybody has a computer? Awesome. Everybody has their description about their business? Beautiful. All right, so you're going to fill this in, cut and paste, put it there. All right, share your screen. How you're doing? All right, you're doing great. You're doing great. You're up to speed. You're good. Okay, tweak that. How many programs do you know will do that? I basically treat people like I treated my students. And I had a lot of students of different learning abilities and disabilities. So we always tried to figure out ways to work and to learn together. That was my whole thing when I was in the classroom. And now I'm bringing it into a membership, especially for my seasoned teachers that have been in the classroom. You know your ways. You could know your concept without even blinking. And now you're like, I got to learn while doing. How do I do that? And it's hard. And especially when you're trying to do it by yourself. So when you have those how-to sessions, I work at a slower pace. This is what we do first. How you doing? You're good? Okay. Now let's do this. All right. Now hit publish. Congratulations, you just did blah blah blah. And just to see, I could check that off my list. I have my own Facebook page. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right. And then you'll get your first followers because we're in the group. And then you're taking and walking from there. So I like to do those things. And then I have my friend Lynette who comes in and she does like was it Tech Tuesdays. So anything that's really technical. So we're going to work on Canva. That's going to be this next Tuesday. And then the other thing that I like to do is called business talk. A lot of people do not talk about business. So I invite bookkeepers. I invite fitness people because we all need to maintain our shape, because now we went from teachers that walked everywhere to now teachers that are sitting down majority of the time. So you need to get up and get moving. I also have people from other payment platforms that will come and share their information. And then next month, I actually have someone that is a social media marketing guru that is going to come and help us with our social media, help us with our mindset, help us with our next steps. So with that all being said, it's really a place to get that support that you need. So that's why I decided to do You Can Tutor, the membership, because I feel that a lot of people, when they do programs, it's like when that program is over, you're still lost and confused about certain things and you don't know how to get their answers answered. Your questions answered. Let's put it that way. Okay. They don't know how to get their questions answered. So they're always looking. And then they're just like, okay, let me go to my accountability partner. And I'm like, guess what? You're lost. She's lost. You got two lost people together, but you're like, you know what? I'm going to support you, girl. But that's not helping your business. Then all of a sudden you're buying ads. You don't have to buy ads. You don't have to buy likes. Just be who you are and keep posting and be consistent. And your ideal clients will find you. Your target audience will follow you. All of a sudden, you're going to find all these people popping up on Instagram or Facebook, and they're like, oh, I like her. I like him. So you never know. So with all these things, and there's so much more, but we're going on about an hour. I know I can talk. And I just really wanted to make sure that every Thursday at 8:45, I might stop in a couple of the lives here and there, but no problem. But if anything, I just want to let educators know that there is an alternative, especially the ones that still want to teach. And I want those tutors for people that have dropped their information into the chat, because a lot of people were like, oh no, don't do that because I want everybody to pay attention to me. No, because it's a collaboration. There is competition, but it doesn't mean that you have to be ignorant or rude. That it doesn't, no. So when it comes to starting a tutoring business, you want to start small. One, tell everybody what you're doing. Everyone. Obviously, you don't want to tutor if you're still in the classroom. You don't want to tutor your kids in your class. You don't want to start charging your parent, because then that's a disruption. You don't want to do that. But meet up with some of your professional development buddies. Tell them what you're doing. If you're no longer in the classroom, if you still have access to some of the families that you worked with, tell them. Set up a flyer to share with your family and friends and have them post on their social medias for you. Take that same flyer. You don't even have to have like a full page. You can have half pages, print two on a paper and go to local places where people stand. Anybody that's standing in line, Panera Breads, sushi restaurants, Chinese restaurants, barbecue pit places, okay, local children bookstores. Notice I didn't say any libraries because you can't really post in libraries because you're doing it for profit. Go to places where people are standing and you can post on what's called a community board. Start small, local, and what is it? Artesian cafes. Okay. Go to where the people are going to be. And then while you're waiting, start posting. Make small posts. Use Canva. Canva is fabulous. So once you do those things, then start talking to some of your local schools' counseling offices. I'm hoping you're writing this stuff down. So counseling offices, special education, whoever's in charge of the director or the secretary, get in touch with them because they definitely know some people. Okay. Some comments were filtered. Ooh, y'all being spicy on here? What's going on? But try them. YMCAs. Ask them. But when you go and post, you don't just post one time and then forget about it. Come and visit after 2 weeks because sometimes some places would like to take everything down and start fresh and anew. Visit every 2 weeks. Take some and put some in your car. Like, let me show you what I have and then I'm going to wrap up. So I have this folder. And inside this folder, okay, I have a lot of my flyers. And I have them in different sizes because you don't want to be the person that's going to hog it all up. Just put a little bit here, a little bit there. So inside, I have like a page protector right in the middle. So that's what I have, my double stick tape. I have push pins. And if I want to bring a stapler, I can bring a stapler. So what I do is I put this in my car. And I remember there was a friend of mine that said, well, what happens if I live like, I don't know, Texas and it's hot? This thing will melt, Audrey. And I'm like, all right, well then have it by the door. So when you're thinking about going out and you're going to a supermarket that has a community board, you go into that sushi restaurant to pick up some stuff, make it happen. Then take it with you. Go ask, hey, can I put this on your community board? You put it up, take it home, take it out of the car, and then bring it back inside. Stop being difficult. Okay. So, hold on. Okay. Just had to do a little verification. So things like that. So you always have your publication with you. I make them small, like 5x7s. I do some 8x10s. And then I have like a couple that's 3x5s. You don't have to get business cards. You really don't. Start small. All right. So if anyone has any questions, go ahead, put it in there. I'm here just for a little bit before they kicked me out. And plus, I talked for an hour straight. That's crazy. Not bad for a shy person, right? So for those that, especially on TikTok, you can't see, I do have Beth here, who's a math tutor for 7th grade math. She does especially for homeschooling moms that need some assistance. Yes. Oh, thanks, Michelle. I appreciate that. Okay, so she does. Let me go with Beth, and I'll get back to you, Michelle. So Beth is a math tutor for 7th grade math, pre-algebra, algebra 1, certified high school math, turning into homeschooling mom and tutor. So if you need to meet with her, she's mentoringtutoring.com. Beth actually has something else. Our local library welcomed me to put my flyer on the table at the lobby and took down my information for the list they maintain on local tutors. I have no idea families call the library for tutors. So that might work. And oops, hold on. We're starting to get activity now. I think this is Jennifer. Hold on. Yep. And then we have Jennifer. Yes, Jennifer Brush. Put your information down, Jennifer, as well. And I'm going to keep scrolling up here. I know I definitely have Bridget, who's a K through 6 reading and math tutor, definitely 27 years of experience. Forgot about today. Heidi, I have yours. Where'd it go? Oh, so I also have like Heidi Erickson. She's a high school math tutor for 34 years. She definitely can get you if anything, she'll definitely get it done right away. So she gets results really quick, just as much as I do. And then we had Michelle. Let me see if I can scroll all the way up here, Michelle, because we had quite a few. So Michelle is an online tutor focusing on teaching math to students in grades 4 through 8. So 4 through 8, we have high school, we have oops. Then we have Jennifer Brush, who is K through 4th math and reading tutor, 32 years of classroom experience, retiring next month. Look at our girl. So I believed you dropped something, your crown, because you're a queen. Tina, thank you. I appreciate you. But sometimes the crown is pretty crooked at times, but that's what we do. That's what we definitely. So thank you, Tina. I appreciate you. So if anything, this is what I do. Every Thursday, I might do another day, but every Thursday, I'm really here to basically show educators that you have an alternative. I want people to stay in the classroom, but the more and more disrespect that teachers are getting, the more and more, as some people like to say, the good teachers are leaving. And a lot of us, trust me, we had to do alternative things. Some people are leaving they'll even work at a Walmart or they'll work at a local cafe, anything. They'll work at a garden center, anything, because the stress and the anxiety is not worth it. I had health issues, and I noticed that now that I'm no longer in the classroom, I don't have those health issues anymore. Stress is the number one killer, guys. And I will never forget a colleague of mine. She was amazing. She was 2 months away from retiring, and she was recovering from surgery, and she developed a blood clot that ended her life. And I will always remember that because she worked her butt off for years, was ready to retire 2 months before retiring. All the stress, all the strain, all the long weekends, all the grading, all the running here, buying this, spending thousands. And 2 years in a row, I spent over $5,000 for my classroom. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. For a whole year. It's ridiculous. But that's what we do in order for us to do like all those little projects, all the little things that you want in your room, not just because it's cute, because it was needed. So I had to make the change. And I will still remember that I need to value my heart. I need to value myself in order for me to help a young man or a young lady to progress in their experience and their knowledge. In a way, I kind of want to break those whole traditions of I can't do math. And I'm starting to see kids that normally struggle with math that are making those changes. So I want to thank you guys so much for coming in and to sticking around and hearing me yammering on for over an hour. You probably were like trying to watch TV while you're listening to me because you wanted to support me, which I greatly appreciate. But if you are a teacher and you really want to learn more about You Can Tutor, go ahead and click the link in my bio on TikTok and also Facebook, Instagram, once I get Instagram situated, and also LinkedIn. And if anything, you can always send me a message, send me a DM to say, hey, Audrey, you know what? I'm really interested in this. And then we'll set up a date and time so I can talk to you about what exactly that you want from your tutoring, because I don't want you to have to dive into this and invest, and then tutoring is not really within your passion, because I want to make sure that you're okay before you jump in. Again, how many programs are doing that? They're just like, all right, how much you got? Oh, not good enough. You need more. I want to talk to you. If you need someone to brainstorm, I'm more than willing to brainstorm. We could definitely get this done. But I want you to value and to love the life that you're doing right now, because we only got the one life. And I don't want you to just try to waste it away by, I can't wait for Friday. I can't wait for Friday, because there's no guarantee that you're actually going to be here. And I want you to be here, and I want you to love what you're doing and be a part of this life. All right. So have a wonderful evening and day, and take care of yourself.